Dan here, Scooterotica. Right, I've just got back from the garage and I thought I'd take the time just to do a quick video about some of the shit that we get coming through the doors of the garage. And thankfully, 99% of what we get through, sound guys, sound scooterists with decent machines. Every now and then you get some poor fella coming in with some absolute piece of shit, and today was one of those days. And it kind of beggars belief, really, that both people sell these machines as well as people buy them. And I had this chap, and he popped by the garage, and he was an old boy, lovely old fella, and he said, "Oh, I bought myself a little scooter. It's a little Vespa 125, but the exhaust's blowing a bit. If I pop it in, will you have a look and then maybe, sort of tell me how much, new exhaust would be and how much it would be to fit it and blah, blah, blah." I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. That's what we do. So the next day, this guy rocks up, and today, and I can hear this Vespa blowing. I thought, oh, well, that'll be the Vespa that needs the exhaust. Anyway, he leaves the keys. I'm busy on the dyno. He goes home. I walk outside and I see this GTS, and you kind of know straight away as soon as you see it. You think, oh Lord. And so I just out of courtesy, I wheeled it into the garage, put it on the ramp, on the hydraulic ramp, jacked it up, and had a look underneath it. And just from start to finish, let alone from the outside, the fact that clearly it's clearly been crash damaged and somebody's presumably patched up all the plastics. They're all fastened on with wood screws where they are fastened on at all. So, most of the screws are missing. The ones that are fastened on with wood screws. You can see some of the panels are cracked. Some of the other ones, they've been painted in different shades of green with aerosol where it's been badly masked off and just blown over. So even from the outset, you look at it and you think, this is a dog. But then you get underneath it. I sat on the thing and straight away the suspension just sags and it's got no proper movement in the suspension. You think, oh God, the suspension's knackered. You look at the brakes and you know that they at least need an overhaul, if not replacement. And that's before you even look underneath. And then I looked underneath and you just think the engine casings on the good side are severely pitted. They're obviously aged and weathered and have had some hammer. But on the side that's not so good, you can see it's obviously been down the road. It's presumably smashed up and, fucked all the exhaust. And somebody's just bodged it up with some kind, I don't know if it's filler, liquid metal, some sort of epoxy. I don't know what it is. And they've just clattered it on to get the thing sort of kind of running in whatever capacity they can. It's all around the water pump housing. And then the exhaust is obviously... They've taken some sort of, I don't know what it is, some sort of flexible hose and fabricated some sort of makeshift downpipe, fastened it on with a couple of big bolts, cobbled it together with some the exhaust gum shit. And then you look under where, the front of the chassis is, and it's all, you can see straight away they've put all that underseal crap on it, and you go and prod it with your finger and your finger just goes through it, and then you come back and you can see that the main chassis is just completely perished and missing and devoid of any structural worth. And you just sort of sit back and, you think, who the fuck sold this to somebody? And then you sort of think, who the fuck bought it? There's an onus on both sides of the coin here, but I just look at it and you're sort of tasked with just letting the hydraulic ramp down and ringing the guy back and saying, dude, I'm not going to take your money off you. I'm sorry to say you're going to have to come and take this scooter away. It's, a decent exhaust is going to be 200-300 quid. I don't think this scooter is worth 200 or 300 quid. And you find out he's paid a hell of a lot more than that for it, and so, that's not my problem. I just, sort of say to the guy, I'm sorry, whatever you've bought here, you've bought a wreck. And unless the guy was explicitly clear who sold it to you and said, look, this is a wreck, it's only good for parts, then, that's, you've got a machine that is not roadworthy here. So I had a look on the government database, and you could see that it was MOT'd until July, but its MOT history was sporadic at best, and there was periods where it hadn't had an MOT for 5-6 years, and then it had one, and mileages didn't seem to match up, and you just thought, this has just got this whole machine's got a story, and it's not a good one. So I had to ring the guy up and tell him just to come and take the scooter away in the end. But it's just one of those things, really, that the machines are out there and people are selling them and people are buying them. And I don't know who's more at fault here, the person selling it or the person buying it. I appreciate that not everybody understands scooters, not everybody understands, what is a good scooter and what is a bad scooter. But there are some levels of shit that even a blind man should be able to spot. And when I saw all this epoxy around the housing and the flexi hose on the exhaust and the multi-tone green paint and the wood screws hanging off, and you just kind of think, well, what were we expecting? So anyway, just an interesting insight into some of the stuff that turns up, and the fact that I couldn't take this guy's money. I just had to tell him to come and take his scooter away, because in no way, shape or form did I want to be responsible for working on that level of machine or taking money off a guy where clearly the scooter wasn't worth the value of the goods he was wanting to put on it. So anyway, just another interesting one, something to keep an eye out for next time you're looking at buying a scooter. Wood screws and epoxy in the engine casing might be a bit of a giveaway. So there you go. Right, see you on the next video.